Hey guys, this is Eliark, and we're back on the Magi Vale server, and I believe we have enough mana now to do what we need to do, which is to make a Rune of Earth for the... If I just go back, we're going to make a Rod of the Lands. Now what this does is it literally places a block of dirt in the world at the expense of mana. So the way I need to do this is a living wood twig, which is easy, a dirt block, again, easy. But the Rune of Earth takes 3 mana steel, a stone, a block of coal, and a mushroom. So what I've done is I've got together all the pieces that we're going to need to hopefully make this. And for mana steel, all you do is take an iron ingot and drop it into a mana pool with some mana in it, and hopefully you've got enough for everything you need to do. Alright, now easy mode doing of this, you can literally just drop the items on it and it'll automatically place them on the altar for you. Give it a right click with your wand and watch it take off. Now it's going to take a while and it shouldn't use up that much mana, but it is going to take it a little bit of time to make the rune. When it's done, you're going to need a piece of living rock, and what that does is it essentially gives the magical energy somewhere to go, and you'll get a rune that looks like living rock with the kanji etched upon it. So you see the lightning bolts and stuff coming off of it? That means it's done. Just drop and right click, and you'll get 3 of the basic elemental runes: earth, fire, air, and water, for every crafting recipe of the rune system itself. Now to do what I want to do, we need, like I said, a living wood twig. And only one of those, so that one can go away. Living wood twigs are 2 living wood in a crafting grid, just like that. Just like the stick recipe, just, with living wood instead of, normal wood. And we need a bit of dirt. So, like I said, easy peasy. Put the dirt here, that there, that there, and we have a Rod of the Lands. And I'm going to put those away for now because I can't actually utilize the Rod of the Lands yet. I need to make a mana tablet, which mana tablets are, again, easy peasy. It's a mana diamond with living rock surrounding it, or a mana pearl. Depends on what you have. Well, I don't have a lot of ender pearls, so I used mana diamond. Put that in the middle. 8 living rock around it. You have a mana tablet. Now you'll notice mana tablet's durability is at 1000, which means it's empty. I don't have enough mana in this pool to fill it up. It takes a half a mana pool to fill up 1 mana tablet. I can, however, give it some mana so that I can work with what I've got. And you just, let it suck up the mana. And mana pool is empty. Switch that back. And if we check the durability on it now, it says 639. Okay, not too bad. Just remember that number, 639. So, I want to fill in this gap. 2 dirt. Still at 639. So the cost of mana to produce 2 dirt blocks is negligible. It's not even enough to adjust the durability by 1. So what I've essentially made is an unending supply of dirt. I don't have to go and tear apart landscape or anything like that to get dirt any further. I can just, make it as I need it. And as long as I'm in the area, hopefully all the generating flowers over there will continue to pump mana into that mana pool. And what I'm going to do right now is at least get the nerd pole that I need, because I don't have flight, so I can't just, fly around and, do something in creative. That'd be cheating. I'm not going to do that. So what I need to do is get a rough idea of where I want to center this. And I think off of that block. That's my center block. And the beauty of building a floating island above a lake is I can do this and not have to worry. And we're going to go based off trees and everything in the area. I'm going to say 40 blocks up in the air for the bottom of it. Alright, so I'm up 3, 4. Well, let's just look at, here, let me bring all this down real quick. And you do get the dirt. It is a usable block at this point. So from 63, I want to go 30 blocks up. So I need to be at 93. So we're just going to keep an eye on our mini map off to the right top. And we're just going to keep an eye on our little meter there. And we're at 93. And this is the bottom. This will be the base of the island. Like the very, very bottom of it. We'll start off right here. So, by setting ourselves up right here and having this as the base, it gives me a better idea of the total height and starting and how thick and everything I want the floating island to be. Because it could be shallow, not a whole lot of room in the underground, which is perfectly fine by me. I'd rather have most of my stuff on the top side of it. Or it could be completely and totally overgrown, extremely thick, 20 blocks thick. Well, I don't need all that space. So what I'll probably wind up doing is maybe 10 or 11 blocks of thickness. So what I can do to help symbolize that is I can take my rod and I can make a little 3x3 platform right here, and that tells me that this is the base of the structure. And then I can go up another, say, we'll go 9 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. And then I can take this and I can create the actual full structure of the island from this point. So what I'll probably do here is I'm actually going to make a good 5x5. Remembering that that's the middle block. Here, easy way to remember. Put a torch. I need to torch up the area anyway. But that way I know that's my center block, so I need to go out one more block total on this side. And there's my 5x5 structure. That tells me exactly how much I need up here. Alright. So, and let's check our mana tablet just to make sure we're not using up a ton of mana. See, we were at 639, we're at 650 now. So it's gone up 11 points. And I've placed, I want to say probably 50, 40 or so, 50 blocks, somewhere in there. So that's a really, really good ratio for, block to mana usage. And it is turning night, so bam, there's the beauty of building a floating island over a lake or a water source. You can just jump off whenever you need to. But that will give us the basic rough idea of how thick the island itself is going to be. And I was telling Nev yesterday, just because we make it this size or that size, or we make it this thick or that thick, something that we need to remember is it's a floating island. It's supposed to be magically, a magical thing created that, and it's up there and all of that. So when it comes down to, whether or not it's going to be effective to hold everything on that one island that I'm going to build, no, probably not. It's probably not going to be enough to hold all the different mods we're going to work on. And to be honest, what Nev showed me earlier today that she was thinking of was a, floating island with a giant tree coming off of it. And I'm thinking, maybe we need to find a sacred springs and get a sacred oak sapling. Because, God, if we could get one of those, we could plant it up there, and it would just take over for us. Now, one thing I do want to do, before we get any further doing anything else, I need to go make some shears. Because I don't want the island to just be dirt and look, crappy, and just, it looks like a dirt block. No, that doesn't look good. So, if I take a pair of shears, a couple pieces of iron, turn them into shears, I can go and I can grab a bit of tall grass, and then I can go over to my mana pool, and I'm not sure if I need the alchemy catalyst for this or not. No. If you take a piece of tall grass that you've sheared off the ground, and you throw it at a mana pool, it turns into a pasture seed. Now, what a pasture seed will do is it will spread and cause a patch of grass to form on whatever dirt block there is. So if you had a base underground, say, and you wanted to put in a little farm with sheep and everything and have actual grass and you don't have Silk Touch available, you can use a pasture seed. And that'll allow you to create a grass block within the area and just go with it. Oh yeah, Nev lost her Pegasus last night. It died. It drowned it. It suffocated itself in a bit of dirt, so meh. But I need to make some ladders, and I need, let's see, we went up 30 blocks. I don't need quite that much wood planks. No, we went up 30 blocks to the base, which is kind of roughly where you want to start. You can either start at the bottom or the top. I prefer starting at the top just because it does make it a little bit easier in the long run. And let's get a little more wood. I didn't think I needed the full amount, but my math is horrible, so. No, but what we can do is we can take, and I can just use the Rod of the Lands to give me an overall shape, an outer structure for the edge of the island. And I'm not going to make it a perfect circle or anything like that, because nature isn't perfect in the way it lays things out. Very rarely are you going to find something set out in nature that has a perfect, complete composition. Things change. Nature, like I said, is not perfect in the endeavors that it has to deal with. So, just going up. I hate placing ladders going up. I seem to be doing alright, though. Alright. Hold shift. Break that one. I'm hoping this is enough to get me all the way to the top. Oh, wow, lag. Don't know where that came from, but it's a thing. Alright. So now we're at the tippy top of the mountain. Tippy top of where we're going to start. So, by doing it this way, and leaving myself a little path down to there, what I have done is essentially given myself measurements, or an area I can work from. Okay, that's odd. Somebody knocking around. Probably one of my neighbors, but no, but see? Pasture seat. This entire top platform is now a platform of grass. So by doing it this way, and making a platform of grass, I can continue to use the Rod of the Lands to extend this area out. And we're just going to extend it to a 7x7 now. And the grass will spread naturally from here. And something I kind of want to emphasize, when you're building a floating island structure, what you want to do is you want to have a basic idea of how big you want it to be. So this is 7x7. That's not much space. But if I say go out another 7 that way, another 7 that way, and 7 and 7, I have essentially made a 21x21 circle, roughly. Well, at least a plus sign. And 21x21 is not small, but it's not quite as big as I would like it. So what I think I will probably wind up doing is I will build this out to the 21x21 full size, see how big it looks, and like I said, I can always make another island somewhere. Have another one floating off in that direction, or over here on this side, or something like that. There's always the ability to add more to a floating island. I'm not restricted by the space I have down there. It's just like building in Skyblock. You're not restricted by space. There's no restrictions, there's no issues trying to get from point A to point B, or doing anything like that. It's entirely up to you, the shape, design, and structure of the island that you're on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and cut, and I'm going to get the overall structure, the entire size of this, laid out and figure out the shape roughly and everything like that I want done. And that'll give me an idea of how big or how small or everything like that I need to know. So let me get that done, and when we get back, we'll have a little bit more progress to show you, okay? Back in a few. Alright guys, we're back, and I've got the rough overall top structure done. Haven't even used up that much mana. Yeah, we're only at 709, so, half a mana tablet, more than enough to build a floaty island. So, And, I only want maybe another layer of dirt at the most to go with that one. So, one thing we have benefit wise is as we come up, this will be like the bottom piece coming out. And you can make these completely out of dirt if you want to. I don't, so I'm going to have to cook up a ton of stone. But as you can see, that one pasture seed has spread the grass almost all the way along the outer edges of the island. So, if we take a look at the map, you can see that's an edge that we started with, that's an edge we started with, and that's an edge we started with. But then I came out a little further on this one. The little corner bits are jagged, not quite symmetrical. If you want to do a decent island build, look at that one for example. Symmetry is not your friend. Nothing in nature is perfectly symmetrical every time. Everything has its own character and nuances. And when you're building a floating island, you need to take that into account. When you're building any kind of landmass, you need to take that into account. Some sections are going to be smaller than others, some are going to be larger than others, and no two sections should really match perfectly. Like here, I've got just a big old triangular bit going out here. I could take that out and try and make it look a lot more even going across, but I don't want to. Because that one dirt block gives this entire side, this entire diagonal bit, more texture and more realism than if I took it away. So that's just, a couple of little helpful hints that I have for when you build floating islands or anything that you're trying to make it look a little bit more realistic. Try to stick with the contours of the land that you're working with. And when you come in, like when you start building the other layers inward and everything like that, start one block in or on the edge. Don't come in 2 blocks, don't come in 3 blocks or anything like that. You're going to start on that line or 1 block inward. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to follow kind of a, 1, 2, 3 count. So you've got 1 layer of dirt right there. I want 2 layers of dirt. So I'm going to put a whole nother layer all the way around the bottom side of this and essentially match it to the top. And it's just going to be a full layer of dirt, a solid full layer. And then I'll come in 1 and I'll start off with stone, and I'll kind of keep to the pattern that I have going right there. And slowly as you go, this is no longer the center point of the island. Center point, I couldn't tell you where it is, but this isn't direct center of the island anymore. So by the time I get down to this point and actually make it a full point, it's going to be off center of the island, and that's just going to make it look even more natural, more like it was ripped out of the ground. Because if you pick up a rock, very rarely do you pick up a rock that is completely perfect all the way around, completely smooth or anything like that. And another thing we can do, if I can do this without falling off the bloody thing, another thing we're going to do is as the grass spreads and as soon as it's covered all of this, we'll be going around and we'll build up little dirt mounds and stuff like that, and give this a little bit of contour and texture and multiple levels. I don't want just a flat island on every island I build. I want each one of them to have different little layers and contours and textures and just the various things that make it look more natural than what it is. I don't want it to look like custom terrain or a man-made anything. I want it to look as if I came out here and I found this island just floating, and I was like, I'm gonna nerd pull up to that and use that as my base. That's how you want to build custom terrain. You want people to look at it and go, wow, Minecraft finally built something properly. Something I've been wanting to do for forever. That's how you've got to look at custom terrain and everything like that. So, with that note, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to finish this because I can't do all of this and record and everything else. I'm trying to figure out the exact dimensions I want this to be. I can already tell you I'm going to have 2 or 3 more floating islands around it. Just various other things like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the episode here. I've covered the basics of how you get this going. And if you'd like me to do a tutorial on how to do floating islands and stuff like that, I would be more than happy to jump into a creative version of this world and just build an island with you guys. You know, just build an island out in the middle of nowhere. Has no purpose, does nothing, it just looks pretty. But let me know what you think about that idea. And we'll get some more Botania rolling in the next episode. Rod of the Seas is probably my next order of business, just so I don't have to carry around a water bucket with me either. And I am definitely looking at getting some Botania Man of Steel tools and maybe the Man of Steel armor or something like that. So, like I said, just let me know what you think, guys. If this is, like I said, if you would like me to do a tutorial on how to do a floating island, I am more than happy to help you with that and put one of those out there for you. And something else that you need to worry about when you're doing the bottom structure, the stone bits of a floating island, is you want to make sure that you have, first off, plenty of stone cooking. So I need to build a couple more furnaces. But you want to have plenty of stone, and if you have blocks like granite or limestone or marble or andesite, or hell, even use up some of your some of the blocks that you get, like the iron ore or the cinnabar or maybe some gold or something like that, use those blocks up. Utilize them to add a little bit more texture and character to the bottom side of the build. And also, when you finally get done with the build and everything like that, go around and, if you've been to the Nether and you've got the glowstone to spare, put a few little blocks of glowstone down on the underside of it, light it up a little bit, draw people's attention to the bottom side as well, to show the detail and definition that's there, as well as the detail and definition on the top. And also, don't be afraid of leaves. Leaves are a good thing. Have hanging bushes. Put some vines on the side of it. All of these things will help add definition and character and make it look more natural than it already does. But I've rambled on enough. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Leave a like if you like the video. And, don't forget, if you'd like me to do a tutorial, just let me know, And this is Eliark, and I hope you have a good one.